Hey, here we are. This is episode 3 of Pint Fright. Hope everyone's enjoying the videos so far. I'm trying really hard to make it as interesting as possible and be as descriptive about the beer and the movie equally. I know some people are only interested in one or the other. Sometimes I'm lucky and people are interested in both. I also noticed I'm getting a little bit better with each episode, in part thanks to the feedback I've been getting. I've been getting a few comments here and there, not many, but everything helps. And they say, you keep getting the hiccups, what's going on? Well, I got my big skull of water right now to help with that. Big water skull. So hopefully that'll help with the gasular problems, you know. So, people also want to know where I get the beers, or where I've tried them, or where they can purchase them. Same thing with the movies. Where can they purchase the film? We have a special guest this episode, a black cat, which, you know, fits the theme of creepy. So for this video, I tried this beer, and I said in the beginning that I wouldn't base my reviews or think of a film that went with the beer based off of the appearance. And that holds true with this beer. It's just a coincidence that the logo kind of fits well with the film. So where I got this beer, and pretty much every beer I've tried so far on the channel, I've got it at a local like craft brewery, craft beer store where they have a little bit of everything. They have, you know, some fine meats, some pepperettes and things like that. And they have a ton of beer there from local breweries, breweries from out of town, some German beers, some beers from Ontario, Quebec. They have a lot of fun stuff. I highly recommend it. It's called Brouhaha. It's a little play on words, but their staff are very well versed and very knowledgeable of the beers. They can help you out if you're looking for something in particular. As for this beer, it's called Frisson 2.0. They had a 1.0 and a 3, I believe. This one is a 6% ABV, so not too bad, not super strong. It is by La Gabière Brasserie Artisanale. So this is like a local brewery. They're in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, so not too far out. I'm not going to read too much about the beer there because I don't want to give too much about, you know, if you read something and then you taste it, you've already got the information in your mind about what you should expect. And I've already had this beer anyways, but for you guys, I'm just going to open it, pour it, and tell you, you know, what you get right away, just like that. So, this beer, you get this fantastic rose peach color. Very beautiful beer. A little bit of a head on there. Oh, it smells so good. It smells sour. And actually, the more it settles, the darker it gets. And especially in the light, it gets like this very red hue instead of just a pink peach color. So it smells sour. Right away you get it like a sour, dark cherry, raspberry, citrus, very sour notes, very sour fruity aromas. So I'm going to try it here. I've already had it before, but I'm just refreshing the palate, as they say. Yeah. That is a fantastic beer. Very smooth, crisp, perfect for summer. Perfect for summer. Summer's coming up. Love it. Everyone's excited. Winter, everyone's kind of sick of it. It was a mild winter, but people are excited to get into the, you know, the barbecue season and all that. And this beer is perfect for it. It's not as sour as it smells. You do get on the sides of your tongues where you're more prone to taste bitter things. You do get like a lemon cherry flavor. Got my big skull here. Make sure the gases go down. This is my Bone Shaker mug, Bone Shaker IPA. So you get very noticeable lemon and dark cherry on the sides of the tongue. Very smooth finish. No bitterness at all as it's going down the throat. It's only 6%, so it's not super strong, so you don't get like this burning alcohol feeling, and you don't get this this hotness on the tongue of like a stronger beer. Very smooth. Now, when I first tried this beer and I poured it, just the look of it made me think, okay, vampire movies. It's got this red look to it, almost like a blood, or a blood red, or like a blood orange. That actually is perfect for what this smells and tastes like, a blood orange. Sweet citrusy. So I thought vampire movies, but there are a ton of vampire movies. The more I tasted it and the more I tried it, the more I got this sense of betrayal. In the sense that when you smell it, you smell sour. You kind of like get this cramping of the jaw for like when you take a really sour candy. But then when you taste it, it's not at all that. You do get a bit of bitterness, but very smooth. And that sense of betrayal or trickery you get, along with that vampire look to the beer, made me think of this movie right here, John Carpenter's Vampires. Yes, this movie was for the longest time my favorite vampire movie of all time. It is a phenomenal movie. This is also in my third video. This is my second John Carpenter film. The guy makes excellent movies. Some a little less popular among the fans and critics. This one was very popular with fans. Critics were split 50-50. Excuse me. Wow, this is a really bubbly beer. I remember watching this as a kid and it scared the shit out of me. But what I do like about this film is it was the first vampire movie I saw that made vampires in your face. They're not fucking around. They are there to kill you and nothing else. They are there, they have a plan, they're wild, they're quick. The vampires I was accustomed to as a kid, I was like Bram Stoker's Dracula, where he licks the knife, and they're very high class, and they only come out at night, and they're very saints, boy, it is beer, manipulative, and this just took that all away. They come right out of the ground, you see them, they're buried, smothered in earth, they come out and they go, okay, we're going to kick some ass. For the longest time, this was my favorite vampire movie until 30 Days of Night came out, which took its place. But that's another video for another time. This movie starts off instant with a bang. It stars James Woods and Daniel Baldwin, and they have like this vampire hunting group, and they go and they hunt vampires for the Catholic Church. It's a really cool premise. They send they have groups of vampire hunters all over the globe, and there's this group in the States led by James Woods, and they basically go from nest to nest and hunt down these vampires. Well, the movie starts off, they're in a nest and they're hunting these vampires, and they're killing them off one by one, and and then after that they clear the nest and they go, that's weird, we didn't find the leader. Every nest has a little bit like a leader. But they go back to this hotel they're staying at to party. They were celebrating, they killed the vampires. And I don't want to give too much away because I have a feeling not a lot of people are familiar with this movie, even though you totally should be. This is the Scream Factory edition, by the way, from Shout Factory. Scream Factory is like their horror section. This is the limited edition. You can still get it on Scream Factory. They have it in stock. I also saw a couple copies on Amazon.com.ca. I can't guarantee you they have the slipcover. I believe that was first print. But if you can pick up this movie for not super expensive, it is a Blu-ray. It's probably going to be 20, 25 bucks. It is the collector's edition, so you get a ton of extra bonus features, interviews with the cast and crew. But anyways, they go back to the hotel to celebrate their victory over the slaying of this nest. And then that's when the leader who was supposed to be there shows up, and then kind of, you know, he shows up at the hotel and they go, oh shit, vampire, what the fuck? And I don't want to give too much away, but it gets brutal. It gets pretty messy. Anyways, James Woods takes off with Daniel Baldwin, and they pick up this woman who was bit at the party, and they take her, and James Woods says, no, we're not taking her, but she was bit, so we'll take her anyways, because apparently they know, because they're familiar with vampirism, if you get bit by a vampire, you can see through their eyes, and then before you change. So they're going to use her as like this human GPS to find out where the vampire is, because she can see what he sees, you know. So they use her as a tool. And then you find out that there's a little bit more. That's where this betrayal comes in with the beer, this trickery of the senses, where James Woods and Daniel Baldwin are working for the Catholic Church to hunt these vampires. But when the vampire showed up, he called out James Woods' character by his name. So he goes, he knew where we were, he knew my name, something's going on. He thinks, you know, maybe there's some behind the scenes puppetry that's kind of, maybe, you know, the vampires were tipped off, maybe there's an inside informant working with them, and then it becomes this whole big conspiracy, and then the Catholic Church sends in this young priest to go with James Woods and Daniel Baldwin and whatever, and help them. And then James Woods is kind of skeptical of this character, and he asks him, he goes, you know, my father turned into a vampire and I had to kill him, and I killed my own father, I'll have no problem killing you, Padre. He calls him Padre, which is like, you know, father, because he's a priest. And then, without getting too much into it, they go on like this adventure, basically, and they're trying to figure out who set them up. Were they set up? All the meanwhile, they're getting attacked by these vampires, and that leader who you know, the leader vampire who is still after them. He's trying to kill them, and then you find out that he's not just this leader vampire. He's like the leader of all vampires, and he has this plan to be able to become a daywalker. It's time for some skull water. So he has this whole plan to become, like, this vampire is looking for this relic, and if he finds it and he completes a ceremony, he'll be able to walk during the daytime. And that would just create total chaos. As you can imagine, could you imagine going to do your groceries and you're like, oh, we might have to, you know, watch out for fucking vampires? I wouldn't do it. I'd just Uber. I just Uber all the time. Excellent movie. Some good vampire action. Like I said, this isn't your traditional vampire movie where they're slow and professional and they'll get you at your weakest. No, they're coming at you. Some good action. I mean, these are these vampire hunters, so it's not like these random people who get attacked and don't know how to defend themselves. It's this really cool concept of, we know what's out there and we're purposefully trying to hunt them, and we work for the Catholic Church. A lot of religious themes, good action. There's this really cool weapon in here where James Woods has like this crossbow and he shoots the vampires with it, and the arrow sticks in them, but the arrow has this like steel wire that goes outside because the vampires burn up in the sun, and it's got this, it's stuck, like it's attached to this Jeep that's parked outside with a winch. And then he goes, okay, they were talking through their headphones. He goes, okay, we stuck one, okay. And then the Jeep, like Daniel Baldwin's character's outside, and he wheels the vampires out with the arrow in their chest, and they get dragged outside and they just burst into flames. Pretty cool shit. There's some really cool, unique, I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to watch this movie after this video, because this movie deserves to be watched over and over. It's one of those movies where you watch it, you enjoy it, and you always want to go back for more. Same thing with this beer. You enjoy it, you want more. For a beer with this color, it doesn't really say what kind of beer. Okay, it just says bière sanguinante, so it says like blood beer, kind of, which is ironic, I guess, or coincidental. Yeah, it's just your basic beer, but not basic in terms of flavor or quality, but it's just like a beer. You know how you have lagers, pilsners. This would just be like your standard beer, but it is so delicious and it's light. It is 6%, so if you're used to drinking light beers, it might affect you a little bit more. But very flavorful, very complex beer. You get so many different flavors and aromas that you can actually, the more you sip it, the more you can pick up the little notes of, I got a little bit of this, I got a little bit of this, I got a little bit of this. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Same thing with this movie. The more you get into the story, the more you discover what's going on. The more, okay, where they set up? Who is this guy? Is he going to betray them? Was he betrayed? It's excellent drama, action, horror. A lot of good stuff in there. A lot of good stuff in this beer. I also want to announce that I think I'm pretty sure I want to do my first giveaway at 100 subscribers. Last time I checked, I was at 7, which is 7 more than I thought I would have. So thank you for the continued support. At 100 subscribers, I believe I'll be giving away a sealed Blu-ray. Which one, I'm not sure. I have a few in mind. I have It Follows. I have Justice League, which I know doesn't fit the theme, but it's a sealed Blu-ray, and I have a couple copies of it. I also have some sealed DVDs that I might want to be giving away. I have Sinister 2 on DVD, sealed. So I'll be doing a giveaway at 100 subscribers. Whoever wins, you know, in the comments section, I'll figure that out when the time comes. And then I'll ship that out to you, depending on where you are. And thanks again for the support. I'm going to finish this beer, and I'm going to start this movie because it's a fantastic movie. And these two beers go excellently together. So, thanks for watching.